My name is Jean-Paul Kenway. I'm a trainer and a specialist in organizational communication. I hope you and your beloved one are doing well in this difficult situation of COVID-19 pandemic. I hope we are going to really soon get out of this situation and start get back to the normal life. Today I decided to present this short video to share with you my experience, my training experience, and give you some tips like the why of the training. This video especially is addressing both individual and organization. Organization that can be company, corporate organization, can be NGO, can be schools. That means this video is for individual and organization. And the why of the training. I would like to let you know that generally training should be a response to a specific need. For an individual, for instance, a training should be like aligned with the goal. Then the individual have a goal to achieve, and then he trying to compare what is he need to have as a skills or as a competence to be able to achieve the goal. And then he check whether he have these skills or not. Depending on whether he have the skills or not, we define whether he needs a training or not. Then the goal is a response to a specific need. For companies, the same thing. The decision to provide training to the employee should be a response to a specific need expressed in the company. That's why I'm come out with this structure of training, the process. For me, I'm visualizing the training as a process, and the process that I'm dividing into 6 steps. The first steps in the training process for me is the training need identification. It's important to identify the needs of the training, and for the organization, for instance, the way of identifying the training is based on the process defined. Like the organization have a goal to achieve, and generally they put in place the process that they are going to go through in order to achieve the goal, the set goal. And then now the question is the process define the set of skills that are needed, then analyzes the process. We help the organization identifying the skills or the competencies that people need to engage in order to fulfill the required tasks. Then we need first to have in place a well-defined process, and from the process we identify the skills and the competencies that are needed. Now we do the comparison. Do we have internally in the company the required skills needed to fulfill the process, to fulfill the requirement? If the company does not have those skills available, that means there's a gap, there's a knowledge gap between what is needed and what we have. And that this knowledge gap then help identify the needs of the training. Then this is how the first step start, like being able to identify a need of the training. Then when now the organization managed to identify a need of the training, the organization need to assess the need. We know nowadays most of the organizations have matrix structure. They have matrix structure. That means the same process is implemented through many departments. Then the same process involves many teams. And then to be able to identify exactly what should be done at the specific stage of the organization, it's really important to identify who are the people at each stage of the company who are supposed to be trained to be able to fulfill this process. Then the training assessment should have identifying what is the profile of the people that should be trained to be able to take care of this specific activity. That's why it's really needed to carry out this training, let's say this assessment of training. After you identify the training need, you'll be able to assess the need. Because uh, knowing the fact that the same training can be delivered in different way depending on the targeted participant. That's why the training assessment need to be conducted to know at what stage of the process a specific training need to be involved. And knowing that at different stage we have different people who are involved with different set of skills, with different set of knowledge, a different set of competencies. That's why it's really important for organization to be able to identify at what stage of the company the training is really needed and what is the profile of people that should be trained at this stage. Then this is the second step, the training assessment. And then when we are already assessed and we came out with the profile of people to be trained, the third step now is the training design. Then during the training design, we take in consideration two main things. The first thing is to be able to, to design the training, taking in consideration the objective. What is the main objective that we aim to achieve through the training? And the second thing to be taken into consideration when designing the training is the profile of the participant. What do we want to achieve through the training? What is the profile of the participant? That will help up, for instance, knowing what kind of specific example we can take when delivering the training, taking into consideration the profile of the participant. What specific kind of activity can we propose during the training? What specific focus we have to be to do during the training. That's really important during the training design to take in consideration those two things. The objective for the training and maybe the sub-objective can have one major objective and this other sub-objective. And then take in consideration, secondly, the profile of participant. That's for the training design. Then, once we design the training, the fourth step is the training delivery. For the training delivery, you have to take in consideration three main steps. Delivering training is not just the day of the training. There are things that need to be done before the training, there are things that need to be done during the training, and there are things that need to be done after the training. Before the training, generally, there are logistic related things. For instance, we need to know exactly when the training should be, where, and at what time, and inform all participants about this. The participants should be informed about the day of the training, the venue of the training, the time of the training. That's the first thing. And the second thing, make sure that we have the confirmation of participation. All participants should confirm their attendance. It's not just the fact of informing them, yes, you have to attend training this day, at this time, at this place. You have also to ask for them the confirmation. I know generally in some organization the trainer is not the one in charge of organizing all this. Generally we have the training team who is in charge of setting the room and making sure informing participants. Also, if in this case the trainer should be able to require from the training team, all participants confirm. You receive the confirmation from all participants. Why is it really important to get the confirmation? Generally, during the training, you have some group activity that you schedule. It's important for you to know before how many people will be attending your training, to know how we are going to allocate people into teams. How many teams are you going to have? I'm going to organize those teams. This is the first reason why you need to have the number of the participants. The other reason might be that you need to prepare handouts, you need to do some printing, you need to take into consideration the number of participants. Then before the training, it's really important to take into consideration all this. Then during the training, the main things that you need to focus on is ensure an effective presentation. I'm not going to detail on this because I'll be having later on a different video talking about the training delivery, like effective training. This will be like a one video. There will be one video especially for training. I'm not going to detail on that. Then just ensure the effective training, then it's effective presentation during your training. Allocate some breaks. Like, you have to observe, the trainer have to observe the audience, the participant, and see the mood of see their mood and see when there is a need of a break. There is a need of 5-minute break, or there is a need of longer break, also depending on the length of the training. Then you have to allocate enough break to let the participant relax, do some icebreaker to just refresh their mind and let them relax in the training. Then during the training, mainly ensure an effective presentation. Then after the training is the third step on the scope of training delivery. There should be a feedback form. And the feedback form is for the trainer. You might remember, we need to improve ourselves to be able to always do better next time. And the best way to be able to improve ourselves is to know what was not well done during the previous training. And we can easily access this through the feedback from the participant. Then make sure that you always have the feedback form available, and the participant should fill the feedback form for you now to see exactly what you need to work on, what things you need to improve for the next training, and also what you did well that you have to continue. It's not just to say you did this bad, this wasn't good, this wasn't good. Also say, okay, you did this, it was really good, and then you take it in consideration, knowing that next time you have to repeat it, repeating what was done well and trying to improve what wasn't well. This is the reason why. And also this thing to be done after the training is also the handout. You might have additional material that you need to send to a participant after the training. Make sure that you have them available. Either you have to send them via email or give them a handout. Make sure that you deliver this to them after the training. Then these are the 3 things to be done under the training delivery: before the training, during the training, and after the training. Then now, the 5th step, after we have completed the training, there is the knowledge evaluation. Remember at the beginning we said the training is the response to a specific need. There is a set of skills that we need to develop through the training. There is a knowledge gap that we need to fill through the training. And then it's really important to assess if this knowledge gap was actually filled by the training. And this can be done mainly through the assessment. And in some organizations, they have some certification, they have tests that people have to pass after the training to assess their knowledge, to validate whether they actually get the knowledge or not. Then, there's a real need to assess the knowledge after the training. This is a 5th step to absolutely take into consideration. Assess the knowledge of participant after the training is completed. It's really important because you invest some resources into gathering this training. You have to make sure, or you have to check whether this was done effectively or not. Yeah, this is the 5th step. Then the 6th step is what we call the knowledge management. It's really, really important for any kind of organization to know the set of skills available is possessed by its members. It's really important. Then depending whether this set of skills is acquired through the work experience, or is acquired during internal training, or even if those set of skills are acquired through external training sponsored by the organization have to be aware about the set of skills available internally to be able to manage it well, to be able to ensure the continuity of the process. You have to be sure to know the set of skills that are available in the company. The reason why it's important to know is because, organizations are called to grow. The objective is to grow, to acquire new processes, to acquire new clients, to acquire new technology, to develop new department. And to be able to do so, the company have to be able to identify what are the skills that are needed to go forward, like to gather this, to fulfill this, and then check, do we have those skills internally available? We provided training like 1 year ago to some people from the department, and today we are running a new project. The skills needed are not yet available in the company. The training that was provided 1 year ago was it not about providing those employees with this set of skills that are currently needed here? This is very important. If the company doesn't have in place a really well managed knowledge management system, it won't be easy to identify whether they have internally those skills or not. In general, when we don't have this, when you don't know this, the first reflex is to recruit. When we have a new scope, we will think, okay, we should recruit new people. Generally, before moving to the recruitment, why not checking internally if we don't have available resources, available skills that can fulfill this? Then it's really important for a company to have in place a well-defined knowledge management system that can help easily saving time, saving resources on reallocating on different processes on different projects. You see, this 6th step is like a kind of transition to the first step, that was training need identification. That the training need identification, just to show that the training process that I'm presenting now is a cycle process. It's not a linear process, it's a cycle process. Because when you have in place a well-defined knowledge management system, when you acquire, when there's a need of developing a new product, or managing new project, or developing new department, you evaluate, you try to identify the set of skills that are needed, and then you compare to the set of skills that are available. That's refer you now to the first step of the training process, that is the training need identification, and we come back again going through the whole process. Then these are the 6 steps of the training process that I'm also planning to share with you today. Then I will try to sum up. The first step is the training needs identification. As we said, the training is a response to a specific need. Either that they are for individual or organization, their objective that the organization or the individual aim to achieve. And the thing is, should be able to know exactly what are the things, what are the skills, what are the knowledge that are needed for the achievement of the goal. And then the second step is to check exactly, do we have those skills available? Do we have those knowledge available? The comparison of the knowledge needed and the knowledge available should define if there is any gap that we need to fulfill. And then we go into identify the training need. Identify the training need. The second step is the knowledge assessment. Of course, we need a training, but what specific training and what specific focus we should take on this training, depending also on the targeted population. As we say, on the matrix structure, that is the one that's mainly applied in most organizations today. The same process is spread into different stages, different team, or the different level of the organization. And you have to be able to identify at what level of the structure we really need this specific training. Then it's also helping knowing exactly what's the real profile of the participant. And knowing the real profile of the participant help us in the third step for the training design. Then on the training design, we take in consideration 2 main things. We take in consideration the objective of the training, and we take in consideration the profile of the participant. Then when we completed the training design, we need to deliver the training. That is the 4th step, the training delivery. Training delivery, taking consideration before the training, during the training, and after the training. The logistics, the effective presentation, and the feedback. And then when we completed the training, the 5th step is the knowledge, the training evaluation. We remember that we were doing the training to fulfill a knowledge gap. We need to carry out a test or an assessment to actually verify if this knowledge gap was filled through the training. Then it's really important to do the training evaluation to assess this. And the sixth step is the last step of the process is the knowledge management. It's really important for any kind of organization to have in place a well-defined knowledge management system that will enable the company to know at any point of time the set of skills or the knowledge that are available internally for an effective reallocation when it's needed. I hope this video was helpful for you on trying to understand when you have to go for a new training or not, to decide, taking in consideration this process, because it's really important. Always have in mind that the training have to be a response to a need, and to be a real effective response to the need, you need to carry out the training that are helping, providing you with new skills or new knowledge that are actually needed for you to achieve the set goal. Then, if you like it, please put in comment, or if you didn't like it, if there are improvement, please also put in a comment, and I will take in consideration during the next video. And I will really appreciate if you can share the video with your friends, your colleagues, and then also follow me on social media. You will have all contact there, and always provide. I'm looking forward also for your feedback to know exactly how the next video will be looking like. Thank you for taking the time to watching this, and hopefully see you next time. Bye.